So, Trey, you're playing about as well as anybody at your position in the NFL over the last 8 games. You look at your last 5 games, 38 catches, over 400 yards. Your first 5 games, you had only 8. Last year, 29. But we kind of saw towards the end of the season you really getting comfortable. When do you think it clicked for you? Did it click last season, this season? When did it kind of all get to a point where you were really comfortable with what you were doing?
Yeah, I think just kind of, as the reps come, as you play a little bit more, you kind of just feel more comfortable. You kind of start getting in the groove, and you kind of just start becoming the player that you know you can. So I think last year, towards the end of the year when I started playing, I was playing significant, 80, 90% of the snaps. I got comfortable. I felt like I was getting a lot of confidence, and then going into this season, I had a lot of confidence. I felt like I could do a lot of the things, and then when I got my opportunity this year, I just kind of took it and ran with it. So,
are you a guy that do you do any like visualizations where you think about stuff? Are you a guy that it's all about the work in the weight room? Like, what are some of the things you did in between last year and this year to prepare you, knowing that you had gone through it now? You'd seen what the NFL was like playing in it week to week, because it's obviously a much longer season than college.
Yeah, I think it was just being consistent, having a good off-season program, making sure I was strong, healthy, things like that. But most of all, just being consistent with what I do. I take care of my body. I try to stay healthy. Like you said, it's a long season. You're trying to, get through the whole season healthy, and that's a huge part of it. Staying healthy, staying prepared, and just whenever you get that opportunity, making sure you maximize it. And, I just came in every week, preparing like I was going to be the starter, preparing like I was going to play every snap, knowing if I got the chance, I knew exactly what I was going to be able to do. The coaches didn't have to worry if, I knew what I was doing. So just always being prepared every single week, and just, when that opportunity comes, making sure you take advantage of it.
What would you say is your best attribute? Because there was a play you made yesterday, I said this on the air doing the game with Wolf, that was an elite play where your momentum was carrying you towards the sideline, the ball was thrown upfield, you stop, you adjust in midair, you make the catch, then you make a guy miss to get the first down. Like, you obviously have made some incredible catches, but you're also very good after the run. What would you say is your best attribute?
I think just, I try to be a sure-handed guy. I try to be a guy that when you throw the ball to me, the ball's going to get caught, the ball's going to come down, and I just try to be consistent with that. I think Kyler's starting to build that relationship with me, that trust that if he throws the ball to me, more often than not, I'm coming down with it. I'm going to catch the ball, and I'm going to make a play for him. So, that's kind of the trust I'm trying to get with him, trying to build with him, and hopefully he continues to give me opportunities, and I continue to show him that he can trust me. But I think that's the biggest thing, just having that trust with him and making sure he, has that with me.
How's that connection evolved? Because obviously last year when you were kind of coming on, he had the injury, so you guys didn't get a chance to play a ton together last year.
Yeah, I think last year it wasn't definitely not as close as we are now. He's a great guy. Texted me when I got drafted. We kind of had a good relationship, last year. But then when he got hurt, he wasn't around rehabbing for his ACL, things like that. I wasn't playing as much as I am now. So last year we didn't have the greatest relationship, but now that I've been, stepped into that role, really gotten a full year with him. He's an awesome. He loves to have fun. He loves to, he's a great dude. So I think that relationship's just continuing to grow each and every week. We're getting closer and closer, and he's starting to get that trust and confidence in me.
Along those lines, I'm going to play a soundbite from him in a recent press conference, which you probably heard, but. Before we play it, I've noticed with you, which I love, you're emotional. Like you wear your emotions out there after you make a big play. Is that just who you are?
Yeah, that's just who I am. I've been like that since I was young. I love to have fun. I love to go out there and just be animated. I like to bring a lot of juice, a lot of excitement, and I think it brings my teammates along with me. Some of my teammates, they love it. They love the juice and things like that. But I love doing that stuff. I just have a lot of emotion and get after it for sure.
Well, here's Kyler talking, because one thing that he's noticed your emotion, but he also doesn't think that your celebrations are very good. So let's listen to this here.
His celebrations are a little awkward. I think his swag will get better as he keeps having success. But yeah, no, tight ends, you really don't, you never know what you're getting with them.
First of all, what does that mean? You never know what you're getting with a tight end. Why do you think he said that?
I just think, we're a unique position group. You never, like you said, you never know what you're going to get. They're crazy. They're all over the place. Like you said, I'm an emotional guy. I'm crazy. I do all kinds of crazy things. But, I definitely think, he doesn't think my swag's there. That's kind of funny. But hopefully, that'll come. I can show him, throughout the weeks that I got a little swag to me.
How does this offense suit you? And I'm not asking you to, be negative or critical of the previous regime in the offense, but what do you think about this particular offense fits your game?
Yeah, I think we just do a really good job of marrying up the run game and the pass game. We do so much stuff with James, and we run the ball. We do so many different things in the run game, and Drew does a good job of marrying that up in the pass game where we're running a route, but it looks like we're blocking the same way that we would block on that run, and then we're slipping in the back or things like that. So he does a great job of marrying up those two things, and we do a good job of running the ball, and then that opens up the play action stuff for the tight ends, and that's where I get a lot of action.
You talked about being unique and that being a tight end is sometimes personality's different. There's a guy certainly that has different personality, George Kittle.
Yeah.
You just kind of watch and listen to him. Seems like a great dude, but obviously eccentric. I saw him talking to you on the field after the game yesterday. What did he say?
Yeah, it's just cool. I told him this is our fourth time playing against each other, and it's just awesome to play against a guy of his caliber, what he's done. And I just told him, I love watching him play. He kind of said the same thing back to me. It was really cool just to kind of chop it up with him a little bit after the game. He's a great dude, and I look forward to the matchup with him every time.
So did you grow up wanting to be a tight end? Did you have tight ends that you admired, or was there another position you thought you'd play?
I always knew I was going to be a tight end. I played outside linebacker, and I just didn't really love defense like that. I wanted to score touchdowns. I wanted to catch the ball. I always thought I was a little bit better at that, and that's what I wanted to do. I chose tight end. I loved watching Gronk. Gronk was awesome. Growing up, watching Rob, and he was an amazing tight end. The chemistry him and Tom Brady had, all the stuff he did, he was awesome to watch. So when I was a young kid, he was the YouTube highlights I would pull up for sure.
I was going to say, it's so funny now. When I was about to say, was it Tony Gonzalez or Shannon Sharp, and I forget how young you are, man. Like you're like growing up, Rob Gronkowski, like the guy just retired like 2 years ago. But you're right, he's probably 10 or 12 years older than you.
Right.
So was there, because your brother was a defensive player, right? Toby, he was a defensive player,
Correct.
Pass rusher.
Correct. Yep.
And so was he a tight end as well and decided to play defense, and you decided to play offense?
He was actually like a fullback, kind of a guy in high school. So we actually did some Wildcat stuff where I was the quarterback and he was kind of a fullback, and we did some stuff like that. But no, he never had the hand-eye coordination to catch the football, so we always just handed it off to him and let him go and hit people. But he was a much better defensive player than he was offensive.
And you guys are, I assume, still really tight because you guys are really tight growing up, right?
Yeah. He actually lives with me here in Arizona, so we're very tight still.
So what do you guys do when you're not studying film or playing a game or practicing? What is it that do you guys do stuff together all the time?
Yeah, so we love to cook. So every night we're making dinner together. We we rotate. We kind of do all sorts of different things, but we're always making food. We love to play video games. I have a huge office, and we have both of our computers set up in there, and all sorts of cool stuff in there. So we play video games together almost every day. But we always spend a lot of time. We'll go out and swim. We'll play catch, whatever it is. But yeah, we're always doing something together.
I want to go back to the cooking thing. So when you say you guys are cooking, is it like foo-foo-food? Like, is it like really gourmet, or is it, hey, we're making pasta and meatballs?
Yeah, it's more of like, hey, we're making pasta and meatballs, things like that, but not so much of that. We're rotating, we're doing different things. We're on Pinterest trying to find recipes and stuff that look good, something that catches our eye, and we're always trying different things. And then we'll rate it afterwards. We'll be like, is that a keeper? Is that a should we not ever make that one again? And only a few times we haven't ever wanted to make it again. So it usually turns out pretty good.
And you have another brother who's a twin, right?
Yeah, I'm
Dylan.
a twin. Yeah, so me and him are twin brothers. Yeah, Dylan, my twin. Yeah.
Okay. And so Toby is living with you.
Correct.
And where's Dylan?
Dylan lives back in Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a fireman, works for a fire department there in Colorado. But he was actually out here this weekend visiting, so he's been out here for the last couple of days, so it's been fun.
Now you're twins. If he comes to practice and puts on a uniform and number 85, would we be able to tell?
Yeah. I'm much better looking than him, so that's kind of where we look a little different. No, we're actually fraternal twins, so we don't really look super similar.
Yeah.
He's a big dude, strong. He's a little bit bigger than me, actually. So definitely the size-wise, you wouldn't be able to tell, but we do look a little bit different.
Now, I know you were a great athlete in high school, basketball, baseball, football. Did you always think football was going to be your sport?
Yeah, I think so. I loved baseball as well. Baseball was probably my second sport, but I think that my opportunity came, and my best opportunity was to go play football. That's what I loved. I thought I was probably the best at it, and I wanted to play tight end, and that's what I did. I went to college and did that and didn't look back.
So you went to Colorado State, and if I remember, you were not incredibly highly recruited, right? Coming out of high school.
Yeah, right.
Was it Dazio? No, Dazio was not the head coach that recruited you, right?
Yeah,
Who
it
was
was
the head coach?
Mike Bobo.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. So Mike Bobo recruited me there to Colorado State, and he just kind of felt like home there. My older brother Toby, like you said, he was already there at Colorado State. They had offered him. They offered me shortly after that. So then when my brother committed there, I committed shortly after. Wanted to play with him. It was about an hour and a half from my hometown, so it worked out perfectly. Parents were at every game. I got to play, 4 years of college with my older brother. It was perfect.
That's awesome. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with what I do, but outside of the Cardinals, I work for ESPN, so do college football every week. And I just remember I didn't have any of your games in college, but I remember all the time, because you obviously won the Mackey Award, that your highlights were playing all the time. And when the Cardinals drafted you, I was familiar with you as a player. It's interesting because nowadays somebody of your talent at a school like Colorado State, after things start going well, they look to transfer. I don't know how much college football you still watch or pay attention to, but do you think things are out of control in that regard? It feels like now if it doesn't work out at one school, or even if you think, I might have a better NIL chance or a better chance to make the NFL elsewhere, I'm getting out of here. But you stayed and won the Mackey at Colorado State, not a Power 5 school.
Yeah, like you said, I think the whole transferring stuff is getting a little crazy, especially with the NIL. People are kind of just blowing it up with the money, trying to transfer just for the money and not really there for the opportunity that they have. I had a great opportunity at CSU. I loved it, and I stayed loyal to the program, and they were loyal to me, and they gave me the opportunity. I had a great season and ended up winning the Mackey. So that's definitely something that I'm very grateful for. I'm so glad I didn't transfer. I definitely thought about it, things like that, but I didn't, never wanted to stay there at Colorado State and ended up winning the Mackey, so it was very special.
So, all right, going back to your childhood, you're talking about, playing sports. Did you think you would make it to the NFL? Was that a dream? You mentioned your brother being a firefighter. Is that something you were interested in? I mean, did you see yourself ending up where you are right now?
Yeah, I think every little kid dreams of being a professional football player, or professional athlete, or something of some sort. So I think that's exactly what I wanted to do. I think I always dreamed of it. I never really knew what I wanted to do when I got older. I always wanted to play football. I never really thought about another option. And when I got to college, I actually majored in accounting. I couldn't tell you anything about taxes or anything about that, but that's what I'm doing. But so I'm glad that football worked out. I love playing football. I hope I can do it for a long time.
So one of my daughters is now an accountant. I can't say that I envisioned that that's what she would do, but she loves it. You have to, I guess, really love numbers.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I was good at math, and I took an accounting class in college. I did really well in it. I was like, maybe this isn't so bad. And then about 2 or 3 years later, I was like wanting to turn around, but I was so deep into the major, I couldn't do that.
Are you a big sports fan outside of just NFL? It seems like a lot of guys, you mentioned playing video games, but a lot of guys that I talk to that are young guys, they don't watch as many games. They're not sitting around every night watching. NBA players aren't watching a ton of NBA. The younger guys, the older guys do. Where do you fall in line? Are you watching college football on a Saturday, or are you doing something else?
Yeah, I usually pull up a college football game, or if we're not playing on Sundays, I'm usually watching games Thursdays, Mondays, things like that. I always kind of have a game pulled up, but I love watching football. It's a lot of fun. I kind of watch the game a little bit different now, that I know football a little bit more, so I kind of watch it more technique, things like that. But I love watching football. It's a blast to see what other guys are doing.
So let me just kind of ask you to expound on that a little bit. So you was that part of the learning curve for you, is kind of learning more about, how you attack a defense and matchups and just kind of the intricacies of the game that go beyond just running a route and catching a pass?
Yeah, I think so. It's just you can never stop learning. You're always trying to see what other guys do and what's successful. You watch other guys, that's what he did, that's how that worked, things like that. So you're always trying to improve your game, and as you watch other players and what they do, how they're finding success, you kind of start taking things from them and doing the same thing in your own game. So I'm always trying to watch other people, see how they're getting open, see how they're catching the ball, things like that, so then I can hopefully do the same.
So there was a moment during the bye week where you weren't watching sports. From what I understand, you went to Disneyland. Now, was this by choice, or was this because somebody dragged you to Disneyland?
Yeah, I'd like to say it was by choice, but I think I got dragged in there. It was a few days of going to Disney. It was a good time. We rode a ton of rides, a ton of people, but it was a good little getaway.
So who dragged you there then?
Yeah, I went with my girlfriend. It was
Okay.
it was awesome. It was a good time, but like I said, it was just a lot of people, and I wasn't really ready to see that many people.
Did you get the fast pass?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you have to get the fast pass if you're gonna do anything there at Disney. You have to get the fast pass because those lines can get ridiculous.
So, what was there a particular ride that stood out to you as like, hey man, because you had not been to Disneyland,
Correct.
right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Was there one that like, hey, I got to do this again?
Yeah, I think the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like the old Tower of Terror, the one that you're up in the sky, you drop down from the top level all the way down to the bottom. That ride was awesome. I probably rode it 3, 4, 5 times. It was a blast. Every time I rode it, it got it was more and more fun.
So you're an adrenaline junkie, is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, no doubt. I was trying to find the fastest rides, the ones that did all the most twirls, things like that. Trying to do it all while I was there is a blast.
Yeah, I can't even do the teacups. Maybe it's just getting older. My equilibrium's off. I don't know. I
Yeah.
do the teacups, and it's like I'm like telling the little kids, please stop spinning it. I'm getting sick.
Yeah.
How's your shoulder? First of all, you got banged up in the game.
Yeah,
right?
it's doing okay. It's like you said, a little banged up. Hopefully I'll just have a couple days and hopefully I'll be good to go by the weekend.
So obviously there's been a big culture change with the new GM, new head coach, new
Yeah.
staff, a lot of new players. What stands out to you about the culture and the shift?
I think guys really want to be here. Guys play hard. There's no quitting us. I think with that culture, the guys are just playing really hard. Like you said, that's a really good football team. The 49ers are a good team, and we're right there in it. We're a couple plays away here and there, and we're right there in that football game. So they've done a great job of setting a standard and not really lowering below that standard, and it's been fun to be a part of.
Are there particular couple guys on the team that are really guys you look up to as leaders, that you kind of watch how they handle themselves and handle their business either with the media or with, because you're obviously getting a lot more requests to do things like this.
Yeah.
People are talking about you nationally now.
Yeah, I think James Conner comes to mind. He's a great dude, a guy who does it the right way, a true professional who's had a ton of success but still carries himself the right way. I really love the way he does things. Buddha is another great guy who I think who carries himself the right way and is a great leader, a guy that that you want to be around, a guy you want to play with, a guy that you want on the team. So those are two guys that come to my mind on the team. But great, there's a ton of guys that carry themselves. So it's cool to have guys like that to look up to kind of go to if I need anything.
And are you how do you feel like you're handling all this stuff now that's starting to come your way? Are you trying to stay away from, you obviously, there's 3 things. You set the school record, the single season franchise record for catches by a tight end. You're the first tight end in 34 years with a 100-yard game. You've done it twice. You and Jackie Smith, the only tight ends in franchise history with 700 yards in a season. And obviously you're getting national recognition. How do you think you've handled all that?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of it's kind of like what I've known I can do. So it's not really a surprise to me. It's not really anything that I was not expecting. So I'm just going out there and playing football, and kind of what comes with it comes with it. I just want to be a part of this team. I love playing with these guys. I just want to go out there and compete, and whatever comes with that, comes with it. It's been a blast though the last few weeks.
So you see George Kittle does some stuff outside of this, and obviously Travis Kelce's getting a lot of attention. Have you started thinking about, I might want to develop my brand in this way?
Yeah, I have thought about stuff like that, but right now I'm just kind of taking it day by day. Maybe this off season I'll kind of figure something out and kind of start going with something. But no, it's just kind of taking it day by day, just trying to go out there and compete against every team.
All right,
and be part of it.
Can you give us a hint? Like, is there a certain direction? Maybe like, hey, I might want to do my own podcast with my brother, or
Yeah, I think I need like a celebratory something. Maybe like I do like a cartwheel, or maybe I do like I don't know, something crazy where it's just unique that this guy does that, and it's something crazy. But maybe a podcast, something like that would be like you said, the Kelsey brothers do something like that. There's so many ways to do it. I love playing golf. Maybe I can wrap my hands around playing golf and football.
I'm trying to think if there is a celebratory golf swing,
something.
or do the Tiger Woods,
the fist pump,
as after you make a long putt,
right?
When you score a touchdown, because obviously Kyler has put you on blast now about your celebration.
Yeah,
so
now I gotta figure it out. I gotta be better for him, so he can tell the media I've changed and I got a little swag to me.
So outside of golf, I know you're very involved back home in Colorado with youth. And you're going to be doing a youth camp again in the off season this summer. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I think my mom has always been involved in the community. She's done a great job doing that, and she's kind of instilled into me to give back, to help out when you can, and to be on this platform. I just want to give back and to give back to a community like my hometown that's done so much for me. That's been a huge part of my success, and I just want to give back. So last year I did a kids camp. This year I want to do another one. It was awesome. I had a ton of people come out. I'm from a small little town, but it was crazy how many people came out from all over the state. So it was awesome. I want to do that again and continue to do that, to give back to a community that has done so much for me.
How about here locally? Is there anything you've got your eye on in terms of something you want to do here?
Yeah, I'm actually tomorrow I'm doing a Christmas drive where a bunch of kids are coming out to Shields, and I think there's 15 kids, and each kid will have like $1,000 to spend, which will be awesome. Underprivileged kids that have had a hard time, things like that. So I'm super excited for that event. I also thought about doing another kids camp out here, maybe doing one out here in Arizona, one in Colorado, just so I can kind of, spread that out, throughout the different states. So I think that would be really cool as well. So trying to do everything I can to give back, and I want to be a part of that.
That's awesome. A couple more football questions, and then we'll get you out of here.
Awesome.
I'm just curious, what do you think's the next step for you as you kind of look at how you've evolved and now your skills are on full display? Everybody's seeing what you're doing, and defenses are seeing what you're doing too. So obviously you're becoming more of a target. They're going to game plan a lot of times for you. So what's the next step for you?
Yeah, I think just becoming a complete tight end, making sure I can be a guy who can be an asset in the run game, a guy who can make plays in the pass game, but I want to be able to do both. I want to be able to help in both. I want to be able to be a great run blocker where they don't have to take me off the field for run plays, things like that. So I want to be able to be a complete tight end, so defenses are always on their toes and not sure what they're going to get from me.
Because Wolf all the time will talk about how he wants to see you become more of a blocker. I'm sure you've heard him say that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So is that just a mindset? Is that a comfort level? Is that understanding what you're doing in the run game? All the above? None of the above?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's a mindset and just kind of comfort. Like you said, when you're playing that much, you kind of have the want to and the will to go and smack your face on someone and things like that. So it's definitely a mindset and things like that. But I want to be better. I want to be better in that. I want to be better, full, complete tight end and help this team in every way.
Well, listen, man, it's been great talking to you. It's been fun watching you as well. So appreciate you spending some time with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. That was great.
Thanks, man.